What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here today for another month of the OCG recap. So June saw a ban list drop for the OCG, much like us, and it doesn't seem like it'll shake up their meta massively. The banning of Dryden and stuff like that definitely should take Tri-Brigade and stuff out of the picture. It did seem as though Tri-Brigade had seen a pretty big drop-off in representation and stuff, but we are going to stay away from deck profiles that would necessarily involve that ban list until it takes full effect next month. In this week, though, in this month, we do have a rather interesting list that involves the Kragen, so we will get to that when we get to it. Before we get started, though, please remember to drop down below and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, because we are always happy to have new people to the channel. And let's get on into this month's OCG recap. So starting us off, of course, you do see it on screen, we have a OCG Prankids list. Prankids lists from the OCG always really confuse me. They seem to just want to cut heavy down on the place, like you can see here, and then maximize on all their names. I get that you can then play more hand traps, but at the same time, place is names. So why don't you just play more place? I guess Roxy's facilitates a draw one, and I don't know how prevalent Lancia is in their format, but overall, I always get super confused whenever I see place running around. Starting us off though for this list, we have our hand trap line, so we've got 2 copies of Lancia in the main deck, along with 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 1 Droll, and triple Max C. 1 Nibiru does then round out that monster lineup, for our hand traps of course. Then getting into our Prankids names, we're 3 of each, so 3 Dropsies, 3 Fansies, 3 Lamp, and 3 Rocks. For the spells, we have 2 copies of Called by the Grave, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, and triple Crossout Designator. One day we'll get this card. One day. It wasn't in King's Court. Pull one out. After that, we've got 2 copies of Forbidden Droplets, 3 copies of Pandemonium. Like I said earlier, 1 copy of Place. Still super confusing, but I guess it must work. This list did very, very well. 1 Pranks comes in after that, with 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion. In the OCG, they do typically use this off the Verte Anaconda. You can then use it to search Fansies on the follow-up turn, which is a pretty good way to play it around. 2 Talents then comes in after that. Then rounding out the main deck, we have 2 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Moving off into the extra deck, we have 2 copies of Battle Butler, 1 Rocket Ride, and 1 Weather Washer. Still pretty standard lines here, especially the double Battle Butler when you're playing the Thunder Dragon Fusion. 1 Toad follows up after that, as it's something you can make with the double Dropsies. Then we have Access Code Unicorn, standard transition plays. Then for our Prankids lines, we've got 1 Bow Wow, double Doo Doo, triple Meow Meow, 1 Rip Roar and Rooster, and then the 1 Verte rounds out that extra. For the side now, we've got 1 copy of Lancia, 1 copy of Pank, 1 copy of Droll, 1 copy of Ghostbell, and 1 copy of Nibiru. Again, with Crossout, you just kind of up your lines and mix and match. Then we've got the Cyframe package, so double Gamma, because it's at 2 now, and the 1 Driver. Then for our spells, we've got 1 Cosmic, 1 Droplets, 1 Duster, and double Lightning Storm, just your back row removal, kind of in general. And then 2 evenly matched, because it can blow out rogue decks. Okay, so next off, we have the rather interesting list that I honestly don't know what this does, so we're going to read some stuff as we go through here. But this is Stealth Kragen. This won an event, and I don't know how. I haven't read the cards fully, but we're going to go through it, we're going to find out what each one does. So our main deck, of course, is just your standard 3 Ash. You've got the 3 Beautiful Princess, we've got 3 Buzzsaw Shark, still just standard, make level 4 water combo kind of stuff. 1 Ghost Spell, triple Max C, and 2 Nibiru. Then we have the right-hand Shark. So he wasn't playing the left-hand Shark, which is what you search when you normal summon this card. But if it's in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you special summon it back. And then you banish it when it leaves the field, but you're going to be using it for rank 4 plays, I'm assuming. And then it grants the extra ability, so an XYZ monster that was summoned using this, or using only water monsters, including this card, cannot be destroyed by battle. Which then, I believe, gets you into your Zeus play, and then you can clear off. So right-hand Shark is what you use to facilitate that. After this, we've got our 3 Silent Angler, of course. This is just your free special summon. Then we've got 3 copies of Silent Sea Needle, or Nettle, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, because that's a jellyfish. So if you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So again, just the rank 4 kind of toolbox cards. You cannot special summon more monsters for the rest of the turn, except for water monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target up to 3 water monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck. Okay, so you can use each effect once per turn. Doesn't draw a card when you do that. I guess you just kind of use it as a free extender. It locks you out of Zeus though, which is probably an issue, but oh well. Then for our spells, we've got 2 Called by the Grave, 3 Cosmic, 2 Chalice, and 1 1 for 1. Then we have the new pre-release map that lets you search the level 1s with 0 attack. Then we've got 3 Pot of Desires after that, and then 3 copies of White Mirror, which is a special summon and rotor from the deck. So this is effectively this is a rank 4. This is a 1-card rank 4. Then rounding out the main deck, we've got 3 copies of Gozen Match. And then we get into our extra, so we've got 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, 1 Bahamut Shark, of course, waters, so you're going to be getting that totally awesome. 2 copies of Zeus after that, and then we get into the Kragen. So we have 3 copies of Kragen Spawn. So this is once per turn during the main phase, quick effect. You can destroy 1 water monster your opponent controls. If this card is special summoned by a number XYZ monster effect is destroyed. If this card special summoned by a number XYZ monster's effect is destroyed, you can special summon 1 other Kragen monster from your graveyard. So you're going to be using it. So you're going to summon this off the other Kragen, so number 4 Stealth Kragen, and then it's going to loop, I guess. So then we've got Silent Honorak after that, before we get to our number 4 Stealth Kragen. So this is all face-up monsters on the field become water. Okay, so that figures out how the Kragen Spawns effect works. Then we've got, once per turn during the main phase, you can destroy 1 mortal monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack it had on the field. Okay, so it turns everything to water, then you just pop monsters your opponent controls. If this XYZ summon card is destroyed... Oh, okay, so with Gozen Match, you can hardlock your opponent as well. This makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. Okay, so this is like the old Zombie World lock with like Rivalry. So you go Gozen and Kragen, and your opponent's just soft locked, and you just like keep punching them in the face. Okay, so after that, if this XYZ common card is destroyed, you can special summon Kragen Spawn from your extra deck up to the number of materials this card had. Okay, then you can attach up to 1 water monster from your graveyard to each of them as material. Okay, that's huge. And then you swarm the field with Kragen Spawns that do the same thing again, because its effect is not, you can only use this effect of Kragen once per turn, so it's not a once per turn. Well, it's not a hard once per turn. And then you just keep popping. So it's like a pop 2 if this is removed from the board. You just don't get the ability to like change all your opponent's monsters to water. I completely get how this deck works. You're just trying to just summon Stealth Kragens, and then this loops back the other Kragen. So you can special summon other Kragen monsters from your graveyard up to the number of materials this card had. Okay, then attach waterman. So they just loop each other. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. After this, though, we do have 1 copy of Utopic Future, 1 copy of F-Zero Utopic Future Dragon, 1 totally awesome, of course, for our Bahamut Shark, then 1 Mega Clops and 1 Almirage. For our side deck, we've got 3 copies of Lancia, 2 copies of Gamma Seal, 1 Ghost Spell, 1 Ash, or not Ash, that's Ghost Ogre. Then for the spells, 1 Dark Ruler, 1 not Ghost Reaper. I'm all over the shop here. I'm still thinking about the Kragen. Then we've got 1 Harpies, 3 Lightning Storm, 2 Dim Barrier, and 1 Imperial Order. Interesting that you're going to be using the Dark Ruler. I guess you just like blank your opponent's board, set up a Stealth Kragen, and then just like go to town. Works, I guess. Okay, and finally we have 60 card Shaddoll. So of course with that grass looks greener running around, Shaddoll's good deck, because you can just like mill everything. Definitely it works very well with your Schism. Of course, if you just like mill the Schism, you've just searched it effectively because everything just adds it back. Deck seems very good. Then getting into the main deck for this, we have 3 copies of Alistar, 3 Lancia. I bet you in like 60 cards, they still open the Alistar and 1 copy of Invocation. You can guarantee it. Then we've got 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 1 Snow, another good card, banned. Let's switch it from OCG to TCG and back again. Then we've got 1 Ghost Spell, 1 Ghost Ogre, triple Max C for our next to our rest of our hand traps. No, sorry, there is still the Nibiru's coming up along with Gammas, of course. But then we have the 2 Shaddoll Aerials to crow out the opponent. Then we've got 2 Gamma, 3 Wendy to summon from the deck, 3 Beast for the draws, Dragons for the pop, Hedgehogs for the searches, and Squamata to get you those extra materials. Then 1 Driver, of course, because of the Gamma. Then for our spells, we've got 3 Doll Fusion, 1 Foolish Burial, triple Invocation, double Meltdown because it's at 2. Who knows? It's at 2. I betcha, yeah, still sees the package though. Good Invoke player. Then 3 Desires after that. Definitely doesn't banish all of them as well. We're just having a complaint hotline apparently. Then we've got 3 Shaddoll Fusion, 2 Super Poly, 1 Terraforming, 2 Grass Looks Greener. I wish we had this. It'd be so fun. Then for the traps, 2 copies of Rare Shaddoll Incarnation, 1 Shaddoll Core, and 2 Shaddoll Schism. For the extra, we've got 2 copies of App Cologne, 3 copies of Shaddoll Construct, 1 Shek, double Winder. For our invoked line, we've got 1 Aguatis, 1 Caligula, one Macabre, and one Raijin. Then for our links, we've got one Artemis, one Grav Controller, and one Verte. For the side, of course, one copy of Lancia, one copy of Scythe. We are playing a bit of an extended artifact package, so these two are important. Then we've got one Prankatops, one Golden Lord, rather curious, I guess it's a card you can be sending from your Shaddoll Fusion, and one Nibiru. Then for the spells, we've got the one Ignition for our artifact package, one Duster, and 3 Storm. Then for the rest of the traps, 2 copies of Sanctum, and triple evenly matched. But that wraps up here for this month's episode of OCG Recap. Do make sure to comment down below if there's any OCG decks that you'd like me to cover. I'll definitely try and hunt them down. Overall, OCG, Dragon Maid's still 5th best deck. Go Dragon Maid. Definitely just always going to be 5th best deck. It's 5th best deck every single report. I think it's like 5 months straight. It's been 5th best. But yeah, do comment down below if there's anything you want me to track down. But as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good afternoon, everybody.